In this screencast, we are going to talk about the divisibility rule of 2. This is a pretty easy divisibility rule in that you only need to remember one thing in order to know if a number can be divided by 2. So you'll see on the screen that I have the starting sentence, a number is divisible by 2 if. So we're going to talk about there are 3 ways of knowing whether or not a number is divisible by 2. The first way is to know if it is even. So if the number is even, it is divisible by 2. Now what does it mean if a number is even? It means that the number can be divided by 2, it's a multiple of 2, and it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So if a number ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, that's how we know that A, it's even, and B, it's divisible by 2. The final clue in knowing that a number is divisible by 2 is if it is a multiple of 2. And if we think about multiples of 2, remember when we're finding multiples, we're basically counting by that number. So for example, if we start listing the multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and so on, all of these numbers would be divisible by 2 because they are also multiples of 2. So let's take a look at this first number, the number 28, and let's think back to our rules. First of all, we need to know or identify whether or not it's even. So is it even? Question mark. Does it end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? Question mark. And is it a multiple of 2? This middle statement, does it end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, is really the only thing you need to remember when you're trying to figure out if a number is divisible by 2. Because you just need to look at the number that's in the ones place and say, is this number a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? Well, this is an 8, so it's checked because that means that this would be divisible by 2. So yes, 28 can be divided by 2 because it is an even number, it ends in an 8, and it's also a multiple of 2. Let's look at the number 360. So once again, thinking about that second rule where it's, does it end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? I look at the number in the ones place, that's the last number in the ones place, and it does end in a 0. So yes, that is divisible by 2. Let's take a look at this number, 1,221. So once again, think about our rules, right? So remember, we have 3 different rules. First one is even number, which means it would have to end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, which is our second rule. And then the third rule is it's a multiple of 2. Now this is a really big number, 1,221. So we don't want to have to list out all the multiples of 2 until we get to 1,221. So that's where that rule, that second rule of does it end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 comes into play. Well, in the ones place, we have a 1. Is that in this list? No. So that means that this number would not be divisible by 2. What about 4,228? Think about this one. Yes or no? I'm going to go with a yes. Well, why would I go with a yes? Because there is an 8 in the ones place, which means that my number is divisible by 2 because it is even, and it is also a multiple of 2. Let's take a look at this number. We have 29,762,443. Lucky for you guys, you don't have to look at the entire number. You just need to look at the number in the ones place. So does this number end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? Well, what do you think? Is this in that list? No. So therefore this number would not be divisible by 2. So just to remember, a number is divisible by 2 if it's even, it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, and it's a multiple of 2.